violated the Geneva Convention, and your Discord group chat did not.
Guys, so I'm thinking of doing something different. I'm just gonna watch YouTube videos because that's what I do regardless, or listen to YouTube videos, and I guess just react to them while driving this car. So here's the video types of people after high school. I'll give you all my personal experience and some other people that I know, and I mean, we'll just react to the video overall. So I mean, I'll have some pauses here and there, but we'll try to listen to it all.
You did it. You graduated. You survived 4 years of awkward class presentations, school lunches that probably violated the Geneva Convention, and your Discord group chat did not get leaked. But now you're out. You're free. And suddenly that question...
I mean, from the first few statements, sounds like you really didn't like high school, but I mean, I loved high school. The awkward presentation, I was never really an awkward person. I enjoyed presentations. I enjoyed presenting. I mean, that dragged all the way throughout college because I went to UHCL for computer science, believe it or not. And a lot of the people in computer science are just antisocial, reserved, awkward. They didn't like presenting, all that stuff. So that's what really made me stand out throughout my time at college, because everyone else was just super shy and antisocial while I was outgoing, extroverted, liked talking, liked public speaking, etc., etc. So, but I mean, the school lunches were really not that bad. I actually enjoyed my school lunches. And I guess that's a hot take because everyone will look at you sideways when you say that. But I actually enjoyed it. I mean, those burgers that they had, especially the burgers, when I say anything about how acceptable the burgers are, everyone looks at you sideways, and it's like, it wasn't even that bad. The burgers, I used to make like circles of like mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, and then I'd put like lettuce, tomatoes, and then the fries in it, and I would just like smash it together. And once you bite into it, it's great. It's not a bad burger at all. So I really enjoyed lunch. I mean, if they didn't have the burgers, there was a spicy chicken, which was very questionable because sometimes I would bite and it's like some plasticky something, so that was questionable. But other than that, the burgers were good. The nachos with the melted cheese were good. The tater tots were amazing. The fries were good. The pumpkin fries, no one ever touched those. So that's my 2 cents on school lunch and public speaking, I guess you could say.
Good truck. So what's next? Some people sprint toward college like it's the finish line. Others clock into a job 2 days later like, yep, this is life now. And then there's the rest of us just sitting in our rooms like, should I start a podcast or a pyramid scheme? Let's talk about it. The types of people after high school and how weird this phase of life actually is. Starting off, we have the college dreamer. These are kids that always knew they were going to college. They had a dream school, a major, a life plan, a backup plan, and a backup for their backup. They got their dorm set up off Pinterest, joined a Discord server for their class before orientation, and had their roommate's name memorized before they even graduated high school. Fast forward a few weeks and it's like, yeah, I'm 14 grand in debt, I hate my major, and my roommate's been coughing since the second week of school. College is cool if you know what you're doing, but most people don't. Most people just go because they're told to by parents, teachers, guidance counselors, and the ghost of the American dream, and now you're paying 40 grand a year just to cry in a communal bathroom. Fun times. Then there's the...
I mean, I was one of those people who had things planned out, but I wasn't really a glazer of college, you know? In my eyes, college is just like a means to an end, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm there to get my degree, get into the workforce, and start making money as soon as possible. And that's literally the exact path that I took, and it worked out perfectly. And I know it's not gonna work out for everybody, but I'm just giving my personal experience. There were the people, I knew a bunch of people who, you know, they had like a dream college, they wanted to dorm, and they went like throughout the full college experience. But me personally, when I went to college, it was very focused. I mean, the college was like 25, 30 minutes from home, so I stayed at home, and I would go back and forth to college every day. I just went there, did my work, got things done, and then I just left, you know. I'd socialize, I have friends, I went to the gym, pretty consistent. I was going to the gym every single day when I was in college. Because, you know, time management's an important skill, and that's something that I did learn in college. You know, managing my time at the gym, my study time, my homework time, my class time, all that stuff. And, you know, I would just set like a priority list every day and then just work through that list. But that's pretty much how I went about things after high school. I went straight to college. I knew the college that I wanted to go to. I knew my plan, and we just got a thumbs up. Nice. And I executed it perfectly. I mean, and I didn't go into debt because if your GPA is above a certain level, it changes every year. I don't know why it changes, but I believe when I was in college, it was like if your GPA was above a 3.0 and you were taking more than 24 college credits per year, they would just pay you out and then you would pay the college. It was amazing. I mean, I guess they saw that you were serious, that you wanted to actually take advantage of your education, so they just give you money for it. And that's pretty much how I paid for college. So I didn't really go into debt like a lot of people do. And also, I mean, living at home, you saved a bunch of money as well, because dorms are super expensive. Living on campus is expensive. Renting an apartment is expensive. And, you know, during college, especially a major as intense as computer science, you really have no time to work. I was working anytime I had, I would just be there. But like I said, I mean, in a major as rigorous as computer science, you really don't have time to work full-time and pay bills.
Go straight into the workforce. They start working warehouse jobs, retail, construction, whatever gets the bills paid. They're making money, stacking checks, and eating out every night because they still live at home and only have 3 bills. At first it sounds smart. You're making money right away, no student loans hanging over your head, and your weekends are free if you're lucky. You start thinking, hey, this might actually be a better path. But then the reality sets in. The hours are long, the pay isn't as life-changing as you thought. You're constantly tired physically and mentally. You go home drained, you wake up drained, and every day starts blurring together. You're surrounded by people twice your age who have been there since before you were even born, and they'll say things like, it's not great, but it's a job, or at least it's stable. They're not chasing anything, they're just surviving. And then that's when it hits you. This isn't a launch pad, this is where people stay, because they don't have time, energy, or options left to go anywhere else. It becomes routine. Wake up, commute, work, home, sleep. Do that for the rest of your life, with maybe 2 weeks off per year if your boss approves the PTO. And for a lot of people, the scariest part isn't even the job itself. It's the idea that you could blink and suddenly be like 40, still there, still stuck, wondering what your life could have been if you'd done something else. Then there's that person, the one who's...
The current job that I have is somewhat like that, but it's not nearly as bad as he makes it sound to be. I mean, because education puts you ahead, especially in tech. There are anomalies where you're self-taught and you do amazing things and you excel, but usually the average case of self-taught usually ends you up in like a low-end tech job. But having a bachelor's in computer science, regardless of what all the memes say, it definitely helps you get a jump. And pair that along with networking and an outgoing personality and being sociable, it really puts you ahead in this specific industry. So as soon as I got in, it was definitely people twice my age. I mean, I think I'm still the youngest one in the department that I work at. But anyways, I'm working with people twice my age. They're not nearly as mundane as the people he's referring to in this video. It's a stable job, the pay is great, lots of free time, lots of flexibility. And a lot of the guys there are just like, dude, you're not here for the long run, you know, because everybody for some reason sees things in me. Not for some reason. I mean, I understand it. People do see things in me, so they always expect greater. And I mean, that is what I achieve. I always achieve greater. But anyways, they're like, yo, this is not for you. You shouldn't be here your whole life because this is too easy. You could definitely make a lot more money somewhere else. Even though the pay is great, I would say. So, a lot of the guys over there are very inspiring, but just exactly like he was saying, it's like you blink and then boom, you're there for 15 years. A lot of them actually described that. They were saying, this is a stepping stone for you. This shouldn't be your final destination like it is for all of us. Especially one of the guys over there, he was like, dude, I was 35 like 10 minutes ago. Mind you, this man's like 48, 49. So it's like 10 or 12 years flash by like that according to them. So the people who jump straight into the workforce are true hustlers, I would say. And they have their reasons, whether it be they just don't resonate with whatever education is available, or they don't have the funds for college, or they were just, you know, never really interested in it. I mean, I totally understand it either way.
taking a gap year. Not because they couldn't go to college, not because they had a plan, but because they needed to find themselves, to travel, to breathe, to experience the world. You ask them where they're going and they'll hit you with, I'm thinking Europe or maybe Southeast Asia. You know, go off the grid for a bit. 6 months later, they haven't gone further than the local Taco Bell. They wake up at 2 p.m., scroll TikTok for 3 hours, then tweet something deep like healing isn't linear. Their idea of working on themselves is watching 3-hour video essays on YouTube about movies they've never seen. They downloaded Duolingo to learn French but stopped after bonjour. They keep saying they're gonna start a clothing brand, and they did design one hoodie in Canva that they haven't posted because they're waiting for the right vibe. And listen, there's no shame in taking a break. And sometimes that time off is necessary, especially if school has burnt you out. But the problem...
Me personally, about taking a break, I would say there is full shame in taking a break. I'd say it really just depends, to be honest, because some people are in very tough situations. But for the average person, I would say taking a break should not be an option, especially around this time of your life. Because when you're young, you can go 24 hours without sleep. You can go a lot of time without sleep. So being burnt out just from high school sounds kind of ridiculous, to be honest. So I would say there's full shame in taking a break. Don't take a break. Have a plan, have something figured out before graduating, and then just execute that plan. Taking a gap year or a break after high school is probably one of the most destructive things and will extend your hustling timeline by years and years, because I know quite a few people who are finding themselves after high school, and it's been like, graduated in 2020. I graduated in 2020. We had an online graduation, you know, press F to walk across the board. That was a huge meme, but no prom, no graduation. I'm still pressed about it, but I'm not pressed about it, is what I say, but truly I am. But anyways, taking a gap year after high school is just terrible. I would not recommend that at all. I mean, 5 years after high school and you still don't know what you're doing is kind of ridiculous, I'd say, especially if you're a man. I put zero pressure on women, and this is a controversial take, but I don't know why it's even controversial, because women can be taken care of, you know? If you marry a man, he'll hustle for you and he'll take care of you, etc., etc. Even if you get like a regular job, like as a cashier or anything, just to bring the extra income your man needs, it's still no big deal. But as a man, you definitely have your things in check. Know what you're gonna study, know what you're gonna do for work, know how much money you're gonna make. If you wanna open a business, have that figured out.
Break becomes your whole life. You know, 1 month becomes
exactly.
3 becomes 6, and before you know it, they've built a full routine around doing absolutely nothing. Wake up late, stare at a wall, play some Valorant, hit up their local gas station for dinner, and repeat. But they'll keep saying, trust me bro, I got plans. And when you ask what those plans are, it's always vague. Big things coming, I'm in a building phase right now. No, you're not. You're in pajamas at 4 p.m. They'll talk about launching something like they're Elon Musk, but the closest thing they've launched is a DoorDash order. They keep referencing the economy like it's the reason they haven't made a move yet. Like, I mean, with inflation the way it is right now, bro, you don't even pay for gas. What are you talking about?
What the hell is that? Yo, what the hell is that? Bruh. Yo, what the hell type of bird is that?
I'm gonna rev and see what it does. Yo, there's a bunch of them. That is crazy. What is that? That looks like that bird from Le Comfort or whatever it is. I thought it was a child screaming. I was like, oops, somebody needs help. But that's insane. What the heck? Anyways, that was a great way to get off rails. I'm just doing a U-turn because that's not where we're going.
Been there to some extent, you know, the weird limbo phase. You're technically free, you don't owe anyone anything, you're just kind of floating, and for a while that can feel amazing. You're not answering to teachers, you're not stuck in a classroom, you're not dealing with exams or deadlines, but if you're not careful, that float becomes a free fall. You stop making decisions, you stop trying, and you convince yourself that you're waiting for the right moment when really you're just scared to start. Gap years are fine, resting is fine, vibing is fine, but if your gap year turns into a gap decade and your life plan still revolves around a clothing brand that does not exist yet, maybe it's time time to clock back in. Next up, we have the friend who straight up disappears after high school. High school ends and this person vanishes like it's a Marvel post-credits scene. One minute they were at every hangout, every group chat, every chaotic late-night Discord call, then poof, they're gone. They stop replying, they leave the Snap group chat without saying a word. They're not mad, they're not beefing, they just dipped. At first you're like, maybe they're busy, but then it, weeks turn into months, birthdays go by, inside jokes get forgotten. And the next time you think of them is because Instagram reminded you with one of those weird people you may know stories, where they're standing in front of a Jeep with a quote like, only forward from here. Then one day out of nowhere you run into them, Target, gas station, Taco Bell, doesn't matter. And it's the weirdest interaction of your life. Oh my God, how have you been? Good, I'm just working a lot, grinding. Yeah. Grinding what? No one knows. You're half expecting them to tell you they're a freelance monk or something. And the thing is, they're not weird or rude or distant when you see them again. They're chill, they're polite. It's like catching up with a coworker you forgot you used to be best friends with.
Also knew one of these people. He just completely disappeared off the planet. I mean, text him, he doesn't reply. Call him, he doesn't answer. Left all the group chats. Doesn't hang out, just radio silence. And to this day, it's been 5 years since I graduated. To this day, I've still heard nothing about him. I'm sure my friend group, if any of them are watching this, they know exactly who I'm talking about. Because graduation happened, or not even graduation, spring break happened, and then the country shut down for COVID, and that's the last time we ever heard of him. Like, we don't know if he's dead, we don't know if he's out of state, we don't know if he's out the country, we don't know if he's even still here. I mean, he just completely disappeared. Radio silence, no reply. I remember even sending him a message on his birthday like almost every year, or Valentine's Day, because I used to get him carnations in high school as a joke from an anonymous person. Anyways, man's just went radio silent. I have no idea what happened to him. If I do ever come across him, I'll make sure to say what's up or give y'all an update, but my man's just went completely silent.
Some, awkward let's hang soon energy, knowing damn well it's never happening. And it's not a bad thing really, it's just what happens. People drift, they move towns, they get new jobs, new circles, new priorities, but it still hits you sideways when someone who was in your life every single day just becomes a memory. You start realizing how many friendships were based on proximity, not purpose. Y'all weren't soulmates, y'all just sat next to each other in biology for 4 years. And it's weird because when it happens, you think you did something wrong. Like, did I say something? Did I forget to reply to something important? No, they're just on a different path now, and that's okay. It still stings, but it's okay. Eventually, you'll be that person to someone else too. You'll vanish from their life, pop up months later. Yo, it's been a minute, DM with no explanation. And that's just how life moves after high school, Friendships stop being automatic. You actually have to put effort in, and if neither of you do, that bond just fades. Not out of malice or hatred, just out of life. Sorry, I'll try to keep it lighthearted, not to get too existential with you guys. Alright, next up we got the bum. There's the gap year person, and then there's their final form, the bum. Because the gap year person pretends that there's a plan. The bum, they're not even pretending anymore. They're in a deep void, no goals, no job, no plan, just vibes, vape clouds, and a mattress on the floor. Their sleep schedule doesn't exist, they just collapse at random. They've watched 18 seasons of Grey's Anatomy this month alone. Every day is just a blur of TikToks, microwave burritos, and nah, I'll do it tomorrow. You ask them what they're up to and they'll go, just chilling lately, trying to figure stuff out. Bro, it's been a year, what are you trying to figure out? Shapes? They'll randomly bring up business ideas that sound like fever dreams, like I might start a CBD candle line. I've been looking into like vending machines and passive income, You look over and they're watching a 6-hour YouTube documentary on crypto by a guy named Finance Daddy. They haven't applied to a single job, not because they're unqualified, but because they haven't updated their resume since 10th grade when they worked at Chuck E. Cheese for 2 weeks. And here's the thing, it didn't start this way. Most of the time, the bum used to be the gap year person. They took a break to chill and they just never got back up. It's like when you're...
And that's exactly my point. When you take a gap year, like he was saying, it just keeps extending. The gap year turns into 2, 3, 4, 5. Next thing you know, you find yourself 6, 7 years down the line. Still at your parents' house, no new cars, no ambitions, no drive. I mean, eventually when you do have to become self-reliant, you either just end up working a dead-end job like McDonald's, Whataburger, etc. That's how all these old people just end up where they are. They take things called gap years and it turns into a gap decade and they still haven't found themselves. So don't take a gap year, guys. Just stay focused, keep the momentum, and just knock it out whenever you're young so you could take a break when you're older and so you could get nice cars and hopefully even nicer cars down the line. So
sleep mode but never wakes back up, that's them. It's being stuck in like a permanent loading screen. And that's kind of the post-high school lineup. There's definitely some people I haven't covered, so 10,000 likes for a part 2. Whether you're in college pretending to take notes on a Zoom class or working 10-hour shifts debating if a Costco membership counts as an investment, you're not alone. None of us know what we're doing, and the ones that do, they're probably faking it better than the rest of us. Everyone moves at their own pace. Some people jump ahead and crash. Some fall behind and catch up later. Some disappear and come back with a beard and a business. But no matter where you're at, just don't get stuck. Don't let temporary become forever. Don't let comfort become your cage. And definitely don't convince yourself that burnout means you're just mature. That's not maturity. That's just poor hygiene and caffeine addiction. So take your time, take a nap, take a risk, but whatever you do, don't take advice from that one guy selling a $97 course on how to escape the Matrix. Okay, goodbye.
Video is definitely a banger. That's, I'm gonna leave him a like for that for sure. Need part 2. The military guy, I see here. Bro forgot the military guy. 100%. I know a couple military guys. Got a chill guy with the Miata here. You know, I say what's up to everybody. Yo, he's gangster as hell, bro. It's raining and he's out here in the Miata. Are we even in sport? No, we're not. No wonder it's not burbling. My man's zooming. I remember my C5 Corvette. I had a C5, and then one day I wrapped the roof black, gloss black, and we had a wedding or something going on, so I was kind of in a hurry. And I forgot to do the latches, and I started driving out of our shop, and then next thing you know, just boom, the roof just flies off and gets destroyed. So I had to drive it topless for like, throughout that time period, just going to the wedding, coming back, going to work, coming back, etc., etc. I think the rain caught me one day and it was kind of a terrible situation, but damn, sport mode makes a huge difference. Anyways, I think this is going to conclude this POV drive, guys. I thought that was a great idea that I just came up with. Just watch a YouTube video and react to it. If there's any other YouTube videos that you guys would like my reaction to, put them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to cover some. But I think this is a pretty cool idea. Driving a cool car while reacting. Because I like reacting YouTubers, but I just don't like staring at somebody's face for like 30 minutes, you know? Much rather listen to some cool car noises, have a POV behind a cool car. Sometimes this car reminds me of like the sound of a 2JZ, especially when it gets in like the 35, 4,000 range. Like just like. Alrighty guys, we'll see y'all in the next video.